Yo, what is up guys? Just got home from my first Taekwondo grading. Shoutouts to Kumgang Martial Arts, shoutouts to my cameraman Mateo, and shoutouts to my photographer Travis. This is grading for white belts, so it's nothing too crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna just show you guys some footage and I'll talk you guys through it.
Alright guys, so here I am doing some warm-up before the session. I always like to do my own warm-ups beforehand, just so I can push myself harder and get the most out of the session. Doing some basic kicks on the bag, nothing too crazy, nothing too advanced. I'm not going too hard at this point, just getting my movement down, getting my body more familiar with what I'm about to do, and yeah, just getting the muscle memory locked in, ready to go. Alright, and here we go, starting the grading session off with some push-ups. As you can see, I'm going at a very nice and steady pace, trying not to wear myself out before the main event. So I'm sprinting on the spot just to get the blood going in the leg muscles. Very important to get that before you do any hard stretches so you don't pull or snap anything. Moving on to some jumping jacks. Here we are doing some burpees. A lot of people hate doing burpees. I don't mind them. I think they're a really good full body exercise, and this is a really good warm up to get your whole body going. So here we are getting into the stretching part of the warm up, starting with the hamstrings. Flexibility has always been one of my biggest weaknesses, and yeah, it's one of the biggest things that I regret is not having the discipline to stretch and train up my flexibility as a kid, or at the age when it's very easy to develop that. So yeah, just getting back into it again at this point in my life, I think it's gonna be a lot harder, and yeah, I feel like I'm plateauing right now, but I'll just have to keep going and see what happens. Hopefully I'll be able to do the splits one day. So these are some stretches that helps you open up the hips. So for this one, you want to actually touch both your elbows on the ground, as you're gonna see me try and do soon. But yeah, as you can see, some of the kids behind me, they can do that with relative ease. Yeah, so just like I said, if you're younger, it's really easy to develop that flexibility and to maintain it, and it's definitely a lot easier than growing up a bit older and trying to get it back. So yeah, same thing on the other side. We're gonna do a few stretches like these that open up hips, and then we're gonna start working towards our middle split soon. Alright, so after what we call our froggy stretch, we're gonna start going into the middle splits. As you can see, that the kid back there in the black shirt, he has got it down. Me though, although it doesn't look too bad here, I'm actually still pretty far off. So eventually I'll get there, but it's taken a while. Alright, so warm-up is done, and the first thing we got told to do as part of the white belt grading is to take the belt off and tie it back on again. This is like the first thing I learned how to do when I got my uniform. Just like got home and just googled it real quick and taught myself how to do it. It's not that hard, it's pretty chill, and yeah, here it is. So moving on, we're into our pumse, or form. We only have to know this one for white belts. This is called basic number 1, which just consists of a few basic hand techniques and a whole bunch of basic kicks. As you can see, some of my kicks look pretty clunky, and I think that's just because I don't have good enough fundamentals yet. And I think this is a really good opportunity to be at this level to polish up all the basic moves, because if those don't look good, then all the other moves down the road are gonna look pretty crap as well. All the cheat 7s and cheat 9s, you need to know all these basic kicks to do them properly. Alright, so now we're into some hand techniques. Just some punches, definitely nothing new here. A lot of these I've actually done before in some karate trials and seminars. So yeah, definitely pretty comfortable with them. So this is a double knife hand block. I think for this one is probably my worst one. I don't know what it is, it just feels really unnatural. But I don't think it's too bad, but yeah, it definitely still feels a bit weird for me to do. So this is called one-step sparring. It's just a staged scenario of a counter against a punch. So my partner Logan here, he's gonna do a punch, and I'm gonna do a series of moves that counter it. So that's 1, and I'm gonna do 3 of them because I only need to know 3 at white belts. So now it's my turn to punch, and it's Logan's turn to do his moves. So he is a blue belt, so he's gonna do a bit more of these. So after that we got a break because the demo team came on and did some cool stuff. I'm not gonna play the whole thing because they might want to do that at their own channel. I'm just gonna put up some of the highlights. So yeah, you're gonna see that these black belts, it's really easy to tell that they have a lot more experience than I do. All these basic kicks are really controlled, and they have you can see they have a lot of hip strength. You need a lot of hip strength to be able to, you know, get the kicks that high and have that much control at the same time. So that just goes to show that I have a lot of polishing up to do on these basics. And you can see here, here's me doing some, which to be honest look pretty damn clunky. So this is a part where you have to do free kicks going forward and free kicks going back. Well, free kicks going forward, and then the other person does free kicks and you're supposed to go back with them. So yeah, here you can see that you know, my kicks don't look as clean, and yeah, you can just see the difference. The good thing is though, I am, you know, at a pretty low level, which gives me a lot of time and room to get better at it. Yeah, especially with these back kicks and the spin hooks, they feel alright when doing them, but when I look at the footage like this, you actually notice that my legs don't go straight completely, even though sometimes it feels like they do at the time that I'm doing them. So yeah, I think after watching this, I'm gonna revisit a lot of these more basic kicks, like the back kick, the spin hook, getting them nice and clean, so all the future ones and the more advanced ones that are based off those, they're gonna be clean as well. So now we're on to some pad kicking. This is probably the favorite thing for me to do. It's just that like awesome ass feeling you get when you nail a pad with that kind of power. So thanks Jess for holding the pad. And yeah, we're just going through some basic kicks, just making sure they're accurate and they're on target. The jumping side kick is probably one of my favorite kicks, and yeah, definitely one of my better looking ones as well. So head instructor Master Deadlift, he's gonna give us a few wise words to wrap up.
First thing is be confident with what you're doing. Okay? You've been practicing. Okay? You all should know your stuff. That's why you're here. Okay? And just when you perform, see that you're really confident with it. Or, like, at least look confident. Even if you're not. Okay? Look confident.